Hey everybody, welcome back. So in addition to being a project manager at my real job, I am also a professional racket technician. Quit shaking. I'm also a professional racket technician, and this is my home shop. I spent a lot of years stringing for college. I'm back stringing for college teams this year, primarily for the men's team at the University of South Carolina. But I also string some professional tournaments, Charleston, US Open, kind of on a yearly basis. I've also done Del Rey, Indian Wells, a Billie Jean King Cup tie, French Open, City Open, and a couple others that I'm sure I'm forgetting. But this is my home shop. It's been a work in progress since we moved in about a year and a half ago, but decided it's finally time to get some more organization going and get a TV put up in here so I can stop watching sports on an iPad while I string. So today I'm going to show you how to mount a TV and give you a quick shop tour, just to throw that in there. And I have another YouTube channel where I actually do my tennis stuff, and I'll link it in the description below. But here's kind of the seating area with the camping chair and the folding chair. Got some custom rackets over there. Wilson gives us custom rackets for each tournament we do. And then some boxes with some memorabilia and some other stuff that I need to still put up. Just hadn't gotten that far. Over on this wall, framed jersey from the University of South Carolina. I was director of tennis operations for 4 years on top of the stringing. Little storage cube thing, and my swing weight, one of my swing weight machines. That's a Prince PTC. One Biardo, two Biardos, Biardo Tune Pro over here, a couple workbenches, some NCAA trophies because we had an individual national champion, a national runner-up, and then a third place in doubles. My credentials from the tournaments over there. In that back corner on both sides of the wall is string storage. The one side is packs, the other side is reels. Whole bunch of racket bags. The green one I used to transport rackets for college teams. That one's full of frames that I have played with or do currently play with. That one's full of other old frames that I currently have for sale. My wife's tennis bag, my tennis bag, the first racket I ever strung, and today's project, the 50-inch smart TV and the mount that is an Onn full motion mount that I'm thinking is going to go on this wall right here because I'm most often standing at this machine kind of here, so I'll be able to see it. Or if I'm standing at this machine over here, I'll also still be able to see it, and it won't interfere with the doorway because I thought about putting it like here, but then if I kick it out so I can see it better, if you try to come in the door, it's going to kind of be in the way. This wall's just a little far away and don't really want to take that down. That's my first US Open, and those are player name stickers for the players that I strung for. And I'll also put some more picture frames up on that wall. That's part of the stuff that's in this box that I just haven't gotten to. And then putting it in this corner is kind of a weird spot because there's no good area to sit if you do that, because I'm kind of hoping to turn this corner into like a little like seating area and have a small couch or at least a couple real chairs rather than the camping chair and the folding chair over here for my wife and the kids or anybody else that stops through. But let's get to the TV today. And first I'm going to start by unboxing it, and then I'm going to throw the mount on the back of the TV, and then I'll show you how to actually mount it to the wall. All right, so got the TV out of the box, got all the mount pieces laid out. This is the stuff that's actually going to hold the TV to the mount. This is a universal mount. This piece bolts to the wall. It'll articulate some, and then this piece bolts to the back of the TV. But as you can see, it's smaller than the area to the holes, because it's got to go to those silver holes. So we're going to have to put these little arms on. The little bolts in here are to put the arms on. We're going to put the arms on and mount it to the back of the TV. But I'm also going to take the articulating arm off of the bracket, because you'll put the arm on the wall, bracket on the TV, and then set the TV on the thing on the wall and then tighten it back down. Once you got the little arms on, you got to figure out what bolt size actually is going to fit in here. And I'm betting it's going to be these, the M6 times 12 millimeter, because it's not real deep, but it is fairly large around, and those look just to the eye like they're going to be too small. So now you got to put those on, and then your mount will be on the back of the TV, and we can proceed to actually putting the mounting bracket on the wall. All right, I've got the stuff out of the way, and I'm gonna find somewhere relatively centered on this wall to put the TV. My personal favorite way to do that, and I'm gonna hang it in a stud. I don't like hanging TVs with anchors. I'm gonna hang it in a stud. My favorite way to do that is with a magnet, and you just take the magnet and rub it on the wall. Just no real pressure, just kind of zigzag back and forth. And at some point, unless they mystically got this drywall to hang up with no screws or nails, felt something, there we go. You'll see the magnet catches on the wall and will stay. That's your indication that there's a stud running on that wall. You can also use a stud finder. I like the magnet technique. It's easy, and I have been misled by electronic stud finders before. That may work as positioning for this thing, because then I'll fold it over. That may work. Let me pick it up, see what it's going to look like. So I think, based on holding it up and just taking a look at it, I think this stud is going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's a stud, and the way I do that, you can do it a couple different ways. But the way I do it is usually I just take like an awl or one of the like really fine mechanic screwdrivers, and I just poke a couple holes vertically to make sure that I'm kind of centered in that stud in the drywall, because you're going to be hanging something right here anyway, so it doesn't matter if like there's a couple little holes behind it. You can also take a drill and go in with a drill, and that had wood coming out of it, and I can see wood in there, so we are kind of dead on a stud. Take this magnet off. And this thing came with 3 stud screws. I will go ahead and use them all just because it came with them. If I can get the plastic cap off here. It also has a hanging template that I guess I'll use. There we go. But it's going to go 1, 2, 3, and you see your bottom one's got some adjustability. It's got a level built in. Come here. It's got a level built in. So I'm kind of thinking maybe that height, because anything higher than that feels pretty stinking high. So I'm kind of thinking like that. Let's see, I can see that hole behind there. Get this bubble level, trust this bubble since it's built into the mount. Call that the top, Call that the middle, and call that the bottom. All right, and so what I'll do is I'll drill pilot holes with my drill to give the lag bolts something to go into so that they don't like turn and end up shooting out of the stud one side or the other. And then I'll mount it with lag bolts. Using a smaller bit than the lag bolts so that they still have plenty of dig into the actual wood. And I'll install the lags with an impact with a 13mm socket, which is pretty standard on these. Like, I took one of them down with me to test it to make sure, but in my mind I was like, I swear it's a 13. So take this top one, stick it through, get the socket on it, line it up with our top hole. Just leave it loose to start with so you can get the other two in and make sure everything's going to be nice and level. Even though you will have a little articulation in your mount and can move it. Once you have the TV on, you can move it a little bit to get it just right. Mounts on the wall into the studs. You will have a little side-to-side movement on the mount, so you'll be okay if it's not just dead square, because this like loosens up to articulate side to side, or front to back actually. Well, the other side's still locked in, so that's not gonna work on front to back, but. Now you'll just take the TV, set it on it.
Daddy.
Yes, sir.
Daddy.
Hudson. The mount has a little groove, like a little hook, that just sits onto this plate here. And just the weight of it and the angle will just hold it in place. So you can get the little screws that come off and actually like hold it in. That'll do for me. I'm gonna have to grab a power strip because, as you can see, can't reach the power cable. So gonna have to grab a power strip, and mount a power strip to the wall below it to reach up and actually get there. But TV's on the wall. It is in fact that easy. Time to get some power to it and do the programming and load in all of our apps. But that's how I mount a TV. That's how you can mount a TV. It is in fact that easy, and you can do it without power tools. Like I said previously, I've taken an awl and a hammer, or a really thin screwdriver and a hammer, and knocked it through to confirm I was on a stud, and then I've actually put those lag bolts in with just a 3/8 ratchet and just cranked on them and worked on the forearms. But TV is up and ready to go, other than being plugged into power, nice and solid up there. Thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.